Are narcissists compelled to abuse, or is it a choice that they actually make? Join me today as we talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse specifically as being a choice from my own perspective of being a self-aware narcissist. Yes, you heard me right. My name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness of narcissistic abuse. I help people now break free mentally and emotionally of the toxic environment that they've been stuck in for a long period of time, showing them how they can actually live happy, filled, healthy lives apart from the abuse, apart from the toxicity they've been placed upon for such a long period of time. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to claritychallenge.net to see how we break people free with the challenges that we offer. Or if you want to talk to me personally, you can go to rawmotivations.com today. When we talk through this aspect of narcissistic abuse being a choice, we step into this world that a lot of people don't want to talk about because they want to view it just being as narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder, and that's it. They're just doomed to be that way. They can't make any other choices, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's not always the case. Like, I stand as the testament, Lee, another self-aware narcissist stands as the testament that, hey, you don't have to be dictated by your personality disorder. You don't have to be dictated by what has been handed to you in life. Instead, there's a piece of it that is being a choice. Now, can I choose to have the thought process? Can I choose to have the disorder? No, I can't choose that. But I can choose on what I actually do with it and how I actually respond and treat other human beings. So let's talk about this a little bit. Narcissistic abuse as a conscious choice, understanding that that's what it is. There is a piece of narcissistic abuse that is a conscious choice for the other person to do to you. Think of it this way. My wife had to be confronted with her therapist that told her, hey, you did not hold a gun to Ben's head and say, hey, you need to go cheat on me. Instead, that was his choice. That was a choice that I made apart from her. She didn't force me. She didn't make me. It was a choice. And the thing you have to realize is the narcissist in your life is making a choice every single day. Now, maybe that choice feels easy for him to make to continue to lie because he's been doing that for multiple years. I get it, but it still is a choice. Now, over a period of time, these conscious choices become habits, they become reality, that becomes what the person normally does, what they experience. But it still comes down to a fact of it being a choice. There's people that aren't going to like this, but that's okay. You can leave comments down below and I'll ignore them anyways. No, I'm just kidding. So like moving through, like this piece needs to understand, like it is a choice to abuse another person. That's it. It's not something that is inherent of like, I woke up today and I'm just going to be abusive. No, it's an actual choice that a person is making. Now, is there different layers to it of like lies they tell themselves, things they want to believe, like abuse mechanisms of like, oh, well, this is self-defense. Let me make sure I do this so I don't feel this way. Yeah, 100%. But it still is a choice. You're like, well, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know if this makes sense that it's a choice. Okay, then let's talk about how the narcissist only chooses to abuse you. It's different, right? Like, it's different because he's choosing to abuse you. He's choosing to cheat on you, but he's not doing this to his work because he's actually showing up for work. He's being honest at work. So why isn't he being honest with you? It's because it's an actual choice. There is a decision. You need to understand a narcissist is not forced into cheating, into lying, or manipulating. It is an active choice, and they choose these behaviors. Now, has there been lots of different things in life to make them bring to this place of a consistent choice of it happening? Yes, absolutely. But I need you to understand it still is a choice. Some people want to just be like, it's a disorder. They can't help it. So like give them some grace. No. Because when you need to understand is there's been a lot of people that have been abused or had awful childhood or have grown up in abusive households that still are not abusers because they've made a choice. So for a narcissist, the reason why there is not a choice there for them to actually be like the person that you want them to be is because they're not willing to make the choice of honesty. Not willing to actually be honest about who they are, what they struggle with, what's actually going on. And that vulnerability feels like death of like, I don't want to be vulnerable because then you'll see who I actually am. Yes, because we actually saw who you were, then we probably wouldn't stick around. And that's the whole thing. The narcissist has to have this choice of let me lie to other people so they don't see who I actually am. But a narcissist is going to choose to do this depending on who he's actually around. Think about this, like you're with a narcissist who repeatedly cheats, repeatedly lies, repeatedly gasses, does all these things, knowing that it has hurtful consequences to you. Doesn't really matter because he's not paying attention to that. He doesn't really care. He just continues doing these actions, highlighting the choice to perpetuate the abuse and not actually change himself. This is where you need to understand. You can't force a narcissist to change. You can't make a narcissist change. It has to be his, you guessed it, choice, okay? Because otherwise, it's just going to continue going on. You can force change upon someone. You can mold him and morph him into the person you want him to be. But at the end of the day, unless he actually makes that choice, nothing is going to change, and it's going to be the same exact way over and over and over again. Well, moving into this piece of narcissistic abuse being a choice, you have to start recognizing that you have a power over this to recognize that it is his choice. Okay, recognizing that the actions that a toxic person is doing gives you the power to actually reevaluate your role in the relationship. Do I want to be in this relationship when this person keeps choosing to hurt and abuse me? And you're like, well, maybe he doesn't understand. Okay, then explain it to him. Okay, this is how you hurt me. Now, what's he going to do with that? Still going to go back and hurt and abuse you the same exact way. So you have an opportunity to make a choice of, am I going to stay in this type of relationship? Because he obviously doesn't care, because he hasn't been respecting my boundaries, and he keeps going over my boundaries and doing this over and over and over again. When you start to understand this, it empowers you to actually set up healthy boundaries and make decisions based on your best interest. Okay? This is essential for you to be able to understand and to see. A narcissist is making a choice every single day to abuse you and not the person on the street, to get in front of your face and scream and yell at you, not his coworker or his boss. Like, there's going to be these pieces that move back and forth, realizing, hey, he's doing this because it's not socially acceptable in this setting, but behind closed doors, he's doing this to me. You see the difference? There is an aspect of it being a choice. So you need to realize the narcissist is making a choice every single day to harm you and to hurt you. Like, this needs to be like a wake-up moment of like, wait a second. You've asked him multiple times to not scream and not call you names. How many times did I actually listen to that? Okay? Twice out of the past 600. Okay, so you're like, doesn't really seem to be getting it. Because you're making a choice every single day to just completely blow through your boundaries, completely blow through what you're willing to accept in your life and say, I don't really care about you. I'm going to do what I want to do. So you need to understand there is this opportunity that the narcissist makes a choice every single day. He makes a choice to lie or to tell the truth. Tell the truth sounds vulnerable and sounds like it'd be exposing. So we're going to go with lying, and we're just going to keep going on with that. Okay, but this opens up the door of you to have a choice in your reality of what you're going to accept. Being able to take steps to actually protect yourself and move forward. So what does this actually look like? It means you actually have the chance of making your own choice. Do you tolerate, or do you take a stand? Do you push back? Do you say, hey, I'm going to roll over and just let this happen to me? Or do you start making moves to actually get free? You're not going to be able to control his choices. You're not going to be able to control what he does. You're not going to be able to control how he responds, how he acts to you. You don't have any control over him. So all of you that are watching the video is like, maybe I can control him. Maybe I can change him. Maybe I can lead a horse to water and I can make him drink. At the end of the day, you can't. You have to be able to release that. You are not God. You cannot change another person. You cannot transform another person. You can only give them the opportunity. But if they do not make the choice, there is nothing left for you to do. You only have control over one thing. That is you. Your responses, how you show up, and the choices that you make. So you have a choice. You can continue to endure the abuse that's been happening in your life over and over and over, or you can take a stand for your own well-being, which might mean you need to make an exit plan. You need to make a strategy to actually get out of the relationship, understanding that if you stay, the cycle's going to continue, the abuse is going to worsen, and you are going to be stuck in a toxic relationship that you cannot get out of because it feels like there's no choice. But in reality, that's the one thing you do have. That's the one thing that the narcissist wants to tell you you don't have. He'll say you don't have any options. You don't have any other choices. I'm the only person that's going to love you. I'm the only person that would be with you. Like, no one else is going to love you. No one else is going to care about you. No one else is going to want a single mom. And the list goes on, trying to beat down your self-esteem, your confidence in who you are, making you feel like there's no choice. I'm here to tell you today, there is. There's an opportunity for you to make a choice for you, for your growth, for your development. Think of it this way. You might be in the place of relentless narcissistic abuse. Like, he's been coming at you over and over and over again. You have an opportunity to make a courageous choice for you, to prioritize your mental and your emotional health. Like, hey, this is going to be a decision that I'm going to make to help myself move forward. This decision can lead you down a healing path towards healthier relationships, maybe getting with someone down the road who is healthy, but ultimately avoiding the toxicity that has been in your life for such a long period of time. So I want to ask you today, what choice do you want to make? Are you giving your choice over to a toxic person and being like, well, this is just how he is, I guess I'll just have to sit back and endure it? Or you think that there's not even a possibility of you getting free? There's no opportunity, there's no freedom, there's no possibility of it. I want you to understand there is. We've had the opportunity to lead hundreds of people through the Clarity Challenge. It's a 45-day Clarity Challenge to help people make the choices they need to make to get free, to get out of the fog, the fear, the obligation, the guilt, to break the trauma bond, to get through the obsessive nature of being addicted to a person who's toxic and you know is toxic, but you're like, I still want to go back. We've had the opportunity of helping lots of different people who are willing to step up and make the choice for themselves. Narcissist makes the choice only for himself to be able to hurt and abuse other people. You need to make the choice for your safety, for your emotional and mental stability, and to move forward in your healing journey. I'd invite you to do that today by going to claritychallenge.net today.